Hello, hello, my friends. Hello, my family. Hello, everyone, each and everyone watching me. How are you guys? How is it going? How is your day? How is your Friday? How are you enjoying yourselves? Some of you are at work, I know. Some of you are somewhere doing so many different things all together. I was going to make this video outside, so I was going to make this video outside, but then as I started walking out, it started raining. So I just say, well, let me just get back home and just do the video at home. Guys, you cannot believe it. I really appreciate all of you. I still encourage you to get back to me. Some of you have gotten back to me about so many subjects, and we've discussed one or two things together. And there are some of you definitely who have been able to get back on your feet. Those are unscripted, guys. It's a Friday. Beautiful day, gorgeous day, wonderful day. I can't complain more. This day was unscripted, and usually I don't script my subjects. I don't like. The reason why I call myself unscripted is because I don't script my subjects. I don't script. I don't sketch. So I just get an intuition. So on my page, you'll find that most of my subjects are definitely based on intuition. And well, of course, definitely we all make mistakes, and I don't believe that you're supposed to. I don't believe you're supposed to believe each and everything I'm saying, but definitely, as far as I'm doing things out of intuition, you also have the right to go back and do your research, because there are some of my topics I've talked about, and I've of course done my research, and the fact that I thought it would benefit one or two people out there, that's why usually I came out and spoke about them. So today there's a new intuition going on. Yesterday was as I was going to sleep, I listened to a certain documentary, because normally I've not been watching TV for a very long time. I think I might have stopped watching TV for the last 1 or 2 months. I don't remember sitting down and watching Netflix or movies or what. I've gotten over that level, so I've left that TV, because I don't believe in watching a lot of TV, because I try to feed my brain with things that I prefer to feed my brain well. The same way I want to feed my stomach, my body well, is the same way I want to feed my brain well. So I tend to filter what I watch, and just to take care of my brain, keep it in healthy mode, in healthy state. So the intuition I got yesterday, before I went to sleep, I watched a documentary, very fruitful, uplifting documentary, and I thought I would get up today and talk about this. Most of us, we're parents. So we're parents, we have kids, we live with our kids, we live with our families. So you may notice that at one or two stages, your child might get up in the night screaming. For example, the kid might have a nightmare. So you rush out of your bedroom, you go to your kid's bedroom, see what's going on, and she or he, that little one, will tell you that they have just had a nightmare. So they just jump out of bed and start screaming. And it's not a comfortable feeling, because there's no parent who wants to see his little angels or her little angels having very much discomfort and uncomfortable sleep when they're at bed, and that they're just getting up and screaming, and because they have some sort of nightmares. So then I thought that I would ask a question. Before the nightmare happens, you might want to rewind the events of the day or of the night before that kid went to sleep. And you're going to find out that there is some point somewhere that kid might have been watching something not over brain, not over his or her age. Probably they was watching a horror movie, probably they was watching some guys fighting, or probably they was watching some sort of an action movie, something what is not even related to her age. You know what I mean? So then as parents, I believe it's our responsibility to, and this is not only for parents, it's also for us as adults, you know, what are we feeding our brains with? What are we watching? You know what I mean? If you get up on the TV, wake up in the morning just to go to watch TV, what are you exactly watching? You know what I mean? So these things reflect back on us as parents and the kids as well, you know what I mean? So we as parents have to take the responsibility to monitor those things that our kids are watching, you know, those programs they're watching. Some of those kids, they know how to lock themselves in the bedroom and switch on materials on TV, on YouTube or Netflix, whatever, some stuff that is actually not appropriate for them. Sometimes they may end up watching movies which are adult rated. Sometimes they may end up watching movies that are actually horror movies. Sometimes they're thrillers. Sometimes they're action full of killings and all these, you know, stabbings and all those. So when they go to bed, they don't go to bed in a very comfortable, normal mood. And those things reflect back in their brains when they're sleeping, because there's something what they call the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is the most powerful part of the brain, whereby for anything you watch, whether it's an adult or it's a kid, anything you watch, anything you listen to, anything you see. I've done a video before about breaking away from porn, where I talked about an addiction. So those are kind of the reflections. Those are kind of the the ways how the mind, the human mind magnifies some of these things we watch, or some of these things we listen to, or some of these things we hear, or some of these things we see. So the brain magnifies these things inside our brains, and they start reflecting back into our lives. You know, so I talked a video about porn recently. But in the same way, guys, you need to understand that the human brain, especially the subconscious mind, when you're sleeping, if you go to bed, it just takes the subconscious mind only 7 minutes before the subconscious mind synchronizes with whichever events is going on around you. So that means that, for example, if you have been sleeping, if you go to bed, for example, let me say you go to bed at 11, and you've been watching a horror movie at 10:30 in the night, or at 10:30 or at 10 o'clock in the night. So for example, you was watching a horror movie before you went to bed. So the subconscious mind needs only 7 minutes to synchronize, because first of all, the conscious mind, because you switch on the movie, so the conscious mind part of the brain takes over, so you start watching the movie. But after 7 minutes, whatever you're watching, if you continue watching that, the subconscious mind of our brain picks up that signal, and it takes 7 minutes for the subconscious mind to pick up that signal and start recording that in the brain. So whatever you've been watching, whatever you're watching on TV or on your phones or what, for example, actually it's advisable usually that a few minutes, for example, half an hour before going to bed, we are encouraged to switch our surroundings with whatever we're watching, to make sure that it is feeding our minds properly. So as we go to sleep, we have got to be very conscious about the things, the last events of the night before we go to bed. So what are we watching? What are we doing? Who are we speaking with? What are we feeding with? What are we feeding our brains with? What are we listening to? Who are we next to? Those kind of things. So if you feed your brain with a horror movie before going to bed, definitely normally movies take about 1 or 1.5 hours usually. At a minimum, you can watch a movie for about 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So one way or the other, you find that the whole of the movie from the beginning to the end has been recorded in your subconscious mind. And unfortunately, when you go to sleep, your conscious mind shuts down and the subconscious mind takes over, because usually when we're in bed, it is that subconscious part of our brain that takes over our sleep. So that's why we see we are able to actually dream, because it's not in our consciousness. Whatever we see in our dream, whatever we experience in our dreams, is not in our consciousness. So we're not conscious at that time. So that means that it's the subconscious part of the brain that takes over our sleep. And that's why the subconscious part of our brains starts playing out whatever it is recorded in there, and starts to playing out a lot of events. So when you're going to bed, usually, it's just a piece of advice, guys out there. It is very vital and very instrumental to be very mindful of the things we associate ourselves with before going to bed. So the movies we watch, are they benefiting us? Are they uplifting us? Are we learning from them? Are we actually feeding our minds the proper way? Because anything we feed our minds with, the moments before we go to bed, the moment before we doze off to sleep, those are usually the things that actually reflect and get amplified. They reflect back in our subconscious. So when we go to bed, you find yourself replaying some of the events. Like those kids, you see them, sometimes they're having nightmares. So those things start replaying back in their heads. And so in one way or the other, because they cannot handle what's going on there, they just end up like jumping out of bed and screaming and, getting terrified, having those kind of dreams, what they call the nightmares. And even adults. It's not only kids who have nightmares. Adult people also have nightmares. I also have nightmares. I've had nightmares before, but until I noticed that I started to do research about this whole thing, how the brain works, and how things get recorded and how things get replayed back in our minds. That's when I started to be more cautious about the things and the way I feed my brain. So just a piece of advice is it will be very mindful for each and every one of us out there to be very conscious about the people. First of all, even the people we associate with. You might end the day, for example, you might end the night talking about BS. I don't want to finish the word BS. Everybody knows what is BS. So you end up the night, before you go to bed, you're talking about BS. You're talking about subjects that don't uplift you, don't entertain you, don't mold you in any way. So they don't take you anywhere. So when you just ending up in conversations that actually don't benefit and don't feed your brain the proper way, you end up recording a lot of BS in your subconscious mind. So that's where the problem starts now, And we need to remember that when we go to bed as well, the next day when we get up, the same events, because remember that when you go to bed in a very crazy that kind of mood, the next day in the morning is the same thing that's going to happen in the morning. And when you wake up in that same mood, that is the same way how your day is going to end. So the main subject of this topic, the main emphasis of this topic and subject today, I wanted to emphasize things like, what about if we switch to something new? If you change the routine, for example, if you go to bed, it's up to everybody out there. I'm just here to shed light on certain things. So at the end of the day, it's up to you to make the decision yourself. It's up to you who has to make the decision. It's your body, it's your life. But I'm an empath, so I believe that each and everyone can always benefit from one or two things that I talk about here. So what about when you switch the routine and you go to bed with a very good mood, very good mindset? You go to bed, you have a fresh head, you've learned something new. For example, before bed, before going to bed, you've just been reading a certain book, very important book, the last 30 minutes of your night before you went to bed. So definitely you're going to have a nice sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a bright day. And as always, I've also done a video about being grateful. A lot of us just wake up in the morning and just jump out of bed and rush to our jobs, and We just rush outside, we just do other things, we just pretend that the day is going to be okay. But I've done a video about being grateful, about some of those small things, some of those beautiful things that the universe does for us. Because when you wake up in the morning, it's not everybody that's waking up in the morning. So what if you start the day with being gratefulness, with being grateful? I mean, with gratefulness, with gratitude. Let me call it gratitude. What if you wake up in the morning, and you wake up with a nice smile on your face and be grateful for even waking up alive? And then thanking God for whichever belief. I don't know, everybody has got their own beliefs. So you thank whichever God you're praying to for keeping you alive and keeping you safe, waking up in the morning, safe and sound, healthy, breathing. So definitely when you're grateful for some of those things that you're blessed with, life and kids and families and what, then definitely the day is going to go very well with you, because it's through gratitude that we're able to experience also very better things in life, and we're able to accelerate our lives and our achievements in a very more and fruitful and positive way. So today, the main subject was about feeding our brains with unnecessary information, watching movies that don't take us anywhere, don't benefit us in any way. Watching movies that there's nothing you're going to get from movie. You just watch. If you go to sleep, you go to bed, you just been watching a horror movie. Your kids have been watching some sort of action-packed movie which is not even of their age. People shooting and killing themselves around. So if your kids go on every day watching those kind of movies for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, kids, they like movies and all these kind of games, video games. Sometimes I see those kind of video games the kids are playing. The games are rated 16 and above, but the kids are sometimes 13 and 12, and those are the things they're playing. So what do you expect, guys? What do you expect if you're a parent? What do you expect your kid to become? What do you expect your child, those little boys, those little girls, what do you expect them to become when they're growing up? How much do you think has already been fed into their subconscious mind, and how much of those things do you think that actually going to start to reflect and replay back in their lives? For those of you who live around the UK, you've seen these kids in the schools. They are stabbing themselves around. They are going around fighting and stabbing themselves and saying kind of nonsense and making other kids pregnant, and those making kids from their schools pregnant and those kind of things. So those are the things. Those are the effects of what exactly we feed our brains with. Because whatever you feed, whether it's an adult or a kid, whatever you feed your brain with is exactly what transpires in your life at a later stage. It may actually straight away, even as you go to sleep, it may start to reflect back in your dream, causing you or a kid to get a nightmare. But even then, if it doesn't do that at that time, because it has already been stored, the subconscious mind is like a recorder. So it just records whatever you do and whatever goes on in your life. So either way, when something has been recorded anywhere, even if it's in a device, an electronic device, something has been recorded, at some point in time, it has got to start replaying. It has got to be replayed. So the subconscious mind starts replaying. And when the subconscious mind replays those things start reflecting back on our lives. So guys, it's been a short video, but always when I get some intuition about something, I want to come out here and share it with somebody. But for parents out there, the message to me is, the message from me to you, parents out there, I'm a parent as well. Let's be mindful of those things that we let our kids watch, and even ourselves as parents. We should give examples, very good examples of our kids, and guide them about the stuff they're supposed to watch, because the more important benefiting things the kids watch, those are the most important things that are going to mold the kids when they grow up. So when the kids enters your bedroom and finds you watching a certain movie that you definitely know it's not of her or his age, you're supposed to make sure that you protect those kids, because those kids, they don't have any idea of anything what's going on. So they just jump into things and play all sorts of games, watch all sorts of movies, do everything. They just do things because they are young. So we as parents, we need to guide them and show them the way, what you need to watch. Is this of your age? And even if it's of your age, what is inside there? What is the material? So for example, we're supposed to first of all watch those things before we hand them over for the kids to watch them. So we're supposed to go through them as parents, just for the sake of protecting those little souls, those small beautiful souls. So guys, it's been a short video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and have my walk, but it's been a pleasure to have you guys on board. Love you all, guys. Denzel Moz Unscripted. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Denzel Moz Official. You can go in there, subscribe, let's be friends. Help the channel to grow. And if you think you like or you love my materials, you can always share with the friends, push the share button, let the message get out there. Otherwise, that being said, I love you all, guys. Stay well, stay blessed, and peace out.